you gentlemen did more than just write the adaptation. You actually brought the project to the network, did you not?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you think that this George's material was right for this, for the show?
For HBO?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was from the outset, it was the only place we could really imagine doing it properly, because we didn't want to do, first of all, we wanted to tell the full story, which to us meant having the time to do it, which meant not doing a 2.5-hour movie, but actually doing a 10-hour series, or a 10-hour series for each of the books. Second of all, it's not a children's story, and it's not written for 12-year-olds, so that meant it had to be dark, it had to be violent, it had to be sexy, and that meant really in America, HBO. Mm-hmm. If you think of those series in the past that have been very bloody and very sexy at the same time, and full of characters that are hard to define and complicated, you think of Sopranos and The Wire and Deadwood and those other great shows that HBO has made. So for us, it was a pretty easy choice to go to HBO.
How difficult was it to adapt this material into, I guess it's the first book, into 10-hour series?
It was, I mean, it was a challenge because they're very rich and complex and fully realized worlds and characters, but 10 hours is a fair amount of time, and we feel like we got it all in there in a form that's gonna make people very pleased with the results.
What are the issues? What are the conflicts that are taking place in the show?
I think at its core, it's power and the pursuit of power, and those who already have power trying to cling to their power, and then those who are just innocent bystanders getting caught in the crossfire, as it were. It's very much the Game of Thrones that of the title is very much about power, trying to seize the throne, trying to rule the 7 kingdoms, and so it's something that George is fascinated with in writing his books, and that we're trying to convey onto the screen, that pursuit of power and what it means to the people who are after it.
Can you comment on the fact that not all his writers are his readers are not all men?
Yeah, they definitely are not all men. I think that it may even be slightly skew a bit more female, and it's testament to the female characters that I think George has created, and the number of strong women operating in a world that is not designed for strong women to thrive. They're swimming upstream in this world, but it didn't stop him from creating many really compelling women, and I think that many women who read the books, most women who read the books, are going to really have responded to that, and I would hope that we have done them justice on the screen, and they'll respond to the women on the show, because we've got some absolutely fantastic actresses playing these roles.
You think of big Hollywood movies, fantasy movies, and how they're specifically targeted to young boys, and you look at the trailers and it's all about the giant effects spectacles and big monsters and huge hordes, armies fighting each other, and it's really about that kind of effects and magic and wizards casting fireballs. That's not George's world. George's world is much more about intimate relationships between people and humans in conflict with each other, and I think for that reason it has much more appeal to adults and to women, because it's not about, it's not a video game adaptation. I mean, it's very much about these human relationships.
Can we talk about the casting?
It was a really fun process for us, and it was a very challenging process because it is such a big cast. I believe it is the biggest cast in terms of number of speaking roles. It's the biggest cast of any HBO show, and partly because there were so many fabulous characters that we just we're like, well, he's got to stay and she's got to stay, and before you know it, you've got lots and lots of people to cast. But we had a casting director, Nina Gold, in London, who is really gifted in just searching far and wide and just bringing us people, many of whom had never acted on camera before, who had rare gifts that luckily she spotted and brought to our attention.
Now, are we looking at potential 5 seasons or 7 seasons? How many books are there?
Potential. Well, ultimately, we think George is writing 7 books. He's writing the 5th one right now. The idea from the beginning was always roughly 1 season per 1 book. We're not going to take an oath on that. It's possible that the books get longer and longer.
That's the thing.
So
George keeps writing more and more pages per book, so it's hard to commit to 1 season per book.
but it's possibly up to as many as 7 or even more. I mean, knock on wood, we don't even know if we have a second season yet, but
Yeah.
it could go on for a very long time.
It's a bit premature.
So, what are we looking forward to? Are we looking forward to violence, sex? What are we looking forward to here?
Yeah, but you know, and also very much. I mean, if you think of where the story predominantly lies, it's on these characters interacting. It's on these families in conflict with each other. It's the drumbeat of war, and ultimately, I think what we hope is that the audience for the TV show will have a similar experience to what we had reading the books, which is that you fall in love with these characters and then you become terrified for them because something terrible might happen to any one of them at any moment. None of George's characters are ever safe. There's always something awful lurking in the periphery, and you're just hoping so desperately that somehow they can be protected, even though they can't.
I mean, the reason that the violence means something to you in these stories is because the characters to whom it's happening and the characters that are doing it to other people mean something to you. It's not just violence for the sake of somebody chopping off somebody's head.